Beautiful day in Palo Alto, California, the campus of Stanford University. We're live on the counterattack inside the Avery Stadium poolside here, taking you up to the USA-Russia game. Hi, everyone. Greg Mescall here. Thanks for joining us poolside at Stanford University for a live episode of the counterattack. Big stuff going on here tonight. You can faintly hear in the background already a festival atmosphere beyond the pool gates as fans begin to line up for the 7 p.m. Rumble to Rio, USA and Russia. It is the series finale between the two teams, final preparation for the 2016 Olympic Games. So far, so good for the USA women. They have won 2 in a row, winning big down in San Diego last Thursday, then this past Sunday afternoon at UCLA. They try and close out the series finale here against a Russian team that is still trying to figure out their Olympic squad. Team USA, we know the 13 that are set. For Russia, still working on their final 13 for Rio. Keep in mind, competition starts in Brazil in just a couple of days. August 9th is the first game. USA will take on Spain there at the Maria Link Center in Rio de Janeiro. As for us here at the Counterattack, jam-packed show as always. We'll have our social media send-off as we do every week. Also this week, Northern California, right in the midst of the Junior Olympics, the world's largest water polo tournament. Session 1 wrapped up yesterday. The JO Expo was today down in San Jose. Session 2 starts tomorrow, largely girls action in Session 2. We'll have full highlights of the Platinum Division Championship games that were right here at Stanford yesterday. So we'll get you highlights there, hear from some of the MVPs and game-winning athletes there from Session 1. We'll take you back to the highlights from USA and Russia in San Diego and at UCLA. We'll hear from Tony Azevedo in an interview he did on SportsCenter earlier this week. We'll hear from a club from Oregon, Blue Crush, and their journey to JOs. And we'll hope to hear from a couple of special guests here tonight at the game. They'll be recognizing the 2000 women's team that won silver in the very first Olympic Games to feature women's water polo. So a whole lot more to come right here on the Counterattack. Now we want to get you caught up on this series, USA and Russia. 2 big wins for Team USA. We've got highlights. We'll hear from Maddie Musselman, who's had an excellent start to this series. Let's show you highlights from USA-Russia in San Diego and then at UCLA. Glare, a bit of a factor here as the evening wears on in San Diego. You can see the Russian keeper, Ustikiva, battling the sun there a bit. Team USA on the attack. Here's Mackenzie Fisher, now Fatal. Into Craig, looking to break free, deals to Steffens. She puts it away. Maggie Steffens controlled the high pass and delivered for the first goal of the night. Power play here for Russia out of the break. The drop pass there for Prokofyeva on the perimeter. Nice cross pass. Big fake, nothing there. Now they take it and score. Russia on the board, connecting on the power play goal. Off the post, rebound in front. A scramble for it, and Musselman there with the long arms, arriving first. Shot clock is off, just 13 seconds to play, first quarter. Team USA holding a 3-1 lead. Matthewson, no cap, no problem. Courtney Matthewson puts Team USA ahead 4-1 with 8 seconds to go in the first.
Yeah, we get a good look at a 6-on-5 set piece now for Team USA to get the chance to set up.
Musselman has a hat trick, and it's not even halftime. Power play on the other end for Team USA. Exclusion on the perimeter against Gorbaronova. She has 1 goal already. Team USA, their 5th attempt on the power play. Matthewson, the donut. I think that one went clear over the keeper's head for a 7-3 USA lead. Field block right in front. Seidemann tries to shovel it home. That's saved as well. Russia taking control. Here's Mackenzie Fisher, Gilchrist. Steffens, Matthewson doesn't miss from there. Courtney Matthewson has a hat trick. And an 8-3 lead for Team USA.
Ooh.
Shot there is off the bar. You played at UCLA on the women's side between 05 and 09. You didn't have too many rough nights. It was a pretty good time there as they won 5 straight NCAA titles.
Yeah, Coach Krikorian leading the way there and paved the way for him to go from winning all those NCAA championships to then leading the USA national team and A gold medal as we see Cammie Craig inside.
Cammie Craig goes beast mode in at 2 meters. A clean look here. Johnson with the right hand tips it away. Here's a break. Aria Fisher to Gilchrist. A big fake, a big lob, and connects Kaylee Gilchrist for an 11-4 lead for Team USA, and everything clicking now for the United States.
Having the advantage out of the 2-meter defender position, and now leading the counterattack, a 6-on-5 advantage for Team USA.
Seidemann on the move and scores it. So versatile from defense to offense. Last try here for Team USA. Seidemann draws the power play. Kick out on Borisova, her second. Here's Fisher into Seidemann, point blank range, and Mel finishes it off.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't actually have like a set routine today. I mean, it's kind of different because we came down a little bit earlier today. But just preparing mentally is what I really did today. And it was a team win. It wasn't just my goals that won the game. I mean, this team is one of the best as well, and it's always a hard game when you play them, and I think having them come to the U.S. before we go to Rio is a good opportunity to get better. And, you know, we've played almost every single team before we've gone to Rio, so it's a good experience just to learn more about them and continue to work as a team and get better.
And they'll call an exclusion here on Russia. That will go against Ivanova. Her first in a power play, and perhaps this will jumpstart things for Team USA. And there it is. Mackenzie Fisher on the 6-on-5 gets Team USA on the board. Team USA 1 for 1 on the power play so far. Let's see how they fare here. Musselman. 2:15 to play, first quarter. Gilchrist is there. Fatal scores it. So some confusion there. A couple of horns came on, perhaps signaling a shot clock violation, but there was 2 on the timer as Fatal scored.
Right.
Here's a chance for Russia now. Working along 2 meters. Hill is there. And again, looking to counter, looking to swim Russia here in the second quarter. Hill will let it fly. Here's Seidemann ahead of the field. Seidemann going one-on-one, tangled up, still underwater, and that's a game exclusion. Well, Evgenia Soboleva getting her money's worth there. She is out for the match after keeping Seidemann under the water for a few seconds. You see a tussle like that between Seidemann and Soboleva. Part of the preparation here, getting ready for those frustrating moments. There's going to be a time where someone is going to incite you during the Olympics, and Seidemann bullying her way to the cage buries that, so she doesn't get the prior shot to count, but this one is on the board. Exclusion called. This will go against Russia. And on the restart, Nuschel. Steffens moving in. Shot clock to 4. Threads it into Craig, who comes through with the backhand. Craig missed a couple of chip shots in the first half, but the backhand is on point. And Team USA in front 8-3.
Better for Craig to not look at the goal than maybe to see the goal in this game today. Beautiful entry pass there from Maggie Steffens. Lifetime entry, goes in, dynamic pass. Cammie Craig throws in the backhand, breaks the ice, gets her goal in the game here. USA up 8-3.
And now on the counter, Team USA has room to swim. Nuschel doesn't see the ball. Now she finds it. And she's on the way. Blue Caps giving chase, but they're running out of time. Kylie Nuschel buries it. The counterattack score for Nuschel, and Team USA adds another here in the third.
Yes.
Exclusion here on Russia. Power play. Musselman works it in. The low skip. Difficult delivery, and Musselman is on point with her second after the exclusion on Borisova. And another power play here for Team USA.
Power play for Team USA. Cross pass comes to Musselman, and to her surprise, nobody in front of her, no blockers. So she gets to go one-on-one with the goalie. Cross cage low, buries the shot.
And a power play here for Russia.
Talked about it again. I mean, Tammy Craig is a tough matchup for anyone. All the center forwards on Team USA. It's a tough matchup for anybody. Here's an isolation for Musselman.
The hat trick for Maddie Musselman. So she didn't get it going in the first half, but she's come up big in the second. 3 goals all in the second half. And she's helped put some distance between Team USA and Russia now, 13-5. And Musselman, this is where she'll be come Women's College Water Polo 2017, right here in Westwood, playing for the Bruins. And now a long counter opportunity here for Sideman as we fall under a minute to play. Good look to Fatal. The keeper's there, but couldn't get enough. And Rachel Fatal buries it for her second. So a few days after winning big in San Diego 16-5, they take it to Russia once again here at UCLA 15-7. A balanced scoring attack. Scoreless in the first half. Maddie Musselman leads the way in the second with 4 goals. Kylie Nuschel, a hat trick. Rachel Fatal in a homecoming with 2 goals. Kelly Gilchrist adding to Mackenzie Fisher, Cammie Craig, and KK Clark, all scoring each. Sammy Hill in double figures in goal. She gets the victory. And welcome back here poolside. Great effort there for Team USA. And now we're talking Team USA, but a little bit of history here. As we told you, the 2000 Women's Olympic Water Polo team is going to be honored here tonight. Now we're joined by Kyle Utsumi, a guy who knows a little bit about that group, and he has just finished his brand new book here, Sydney's Silver Lining. So cool that you put this together in about a year's time. It is clearly a labor of love. You hustled it together. You fundraised. You went all over the world, conducted interviews. Tell me your elevator pitch. What is this book about when someone asks you and asks you to explain it?
Yeah, this is the story of women's water polo in the Olympic Games. So the first Olympics for women was in 2000, but it took a lot of years, a couple decades of fighting some people from around the world, Australia, Canada, and the United States, really, and Holland, putting in an effort to get that in what we deserved, what the women deserved. They had been playing at a high level. Great competition in world championships, but they hadn't been in the Olympics yet. So our team entered as an underdog when we found out we would be in the Olympic Games, and what they were able to accomplish in a short amount of time, similar to writing this book, but they accomplished it, and they really made history. Yeah,
this is a sport that I think many thought, well, U.S. gets the Olympics in 84, surely they'll add women's water polo.
Absolutely.
88, not the case. 92. 96 starts to build momentum, right as you tell in the book, and then on to 2000. And the team that people take it for granted now, the USA women playing an event now, people expect a medal. That was not the case with this group in 2000, and they came away with silver.
Right, and they came down to the last second. Huge accomplishment, but really right after that, the collegiate game was exploding, and really women's water polo exploded from the top down. So the collegiate game led to the high school game, led to the age group, and we had 10 and unders in this pool yesterday. The 10 and under girls playing JO's championship. It was really exciting, and now it's funneling back up. So we've got a base of athletes that I think will hold USA water polo with the women at the top for a long time.
We're talking with Kyle Utsumi, author here of Sydney's Silver Lining. Kyle, what was your favorite part of writing this book?
I think getting to talk to the athletes, because it's been 16 years. It's almost the perfect amount of time. So they all started with, hey, Kyle, I don't remember much. My memory's really bad. But it was interesting to start talking to them and say, hey, these are the details I know. Can you fill in? And they go, oh, I remember that. And just hearing the feeling and the reflection come out of them. So, the moments after they lost at the buzzer. And those moments, of course, were heart-wrenching. But the years of reflection really now, they know it was an amazing event, an amazing opportunity, and they can see where the women's program has gone, and I know they're proud.
What is something, you were there, you know this team, you know the athletes so well, there had to be something that came up in all your research where even you said, wow, what's something that maybe you didn't know that was pretty impressive or interesting that you learned through this whole process?
Yeah, one of the things, there's so much about the United States team, but again, talking to the Australians, and when it didn't get into the Atlanta Games, that's when Maureen O'Toole retired, and she thought, it's not going to happen. So the Australians, though, knowing it was going to be in Sydney, they did a lot of work. I got to talk to Pat Jones, who was one of their, founders of their women's national program, and Leanne Barnes, who did a lot of work. and talking about the demonstrations. I think people will really enjoy reading about the demonstrations that they did to get FINA to recognize the women deserve to be in the Olympics.
And now looking forward as we look towards the games here tonight, and this group's going to be honored. They don't get a chance to get together all that often, have all of them and the coaching staff here. What's that moment going to be like come 6:45 tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. They're up in a reception together, and already upstairs, I just came from there, they're saying, I can't believe we haven't seen each other in so long. And really, there's pictures, and they're just saying, man, it was a long time ago. And, look what's happened to, there's lots of kids, there's their daughters and sons are there, and they're all dressed in red, white, and blue, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, we're hoping to talk with Maureen O'Toole here in a couple of minutes and get her thoughts on the book. And, of course, that team, a great book. I think whether you are a female athlete or just enjoy sports in general, something that you'll want to dive into. What's the best way people can get their hands on Sydney's Silver's Lining? Yeah, the website to order is sydneysilverlining.com, or you can use my name, KyleUtsumi.com. KyleUtsumi.com. So cool, and you've had a big social media presence with as well. Twitter, Instagram, you've been sharing photos, and you took this on in the kind of the new age of doing a book where you didn't just write the book and print it, you did interviews and shared videos and photos, and it's been such a cool multimedia experience, and I'm sure a treat for you. What was the challenge like to crank out a book in a year? That alone, let me give you a pat on the back, because that alone was impressive to get it done, but then to make it something that people want to read, what was that challenge like for you? Yeah, it was a great experience. Every day I wrote and talked to people, and just hearing their stories pushed me on and on. It had really been kicking around in my head for years and thinking this is a story that needs to be told. People need to know about this, especially as we reach that pinnacle with the gold in London. I kept thinking, hey, we've made it a long way. Do people know how far? And that pushed me on, I think. And hearing their stories, and they were so helpful. People involved in women's water polo knew this would be something that could be big for them. So very cool. The name of the book, again, Sydney's Silver Lining, all about water polo for women in the Olympics, how it happened, where that has gone. It's led to, obviously, a gold medal in 2012. Kyle Utsumi, the author. Get your copy today, KyleUtsumi.com. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks, Greg. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk more water polo. You're live here at Stanford on the Counterattack.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. And welcome back here, Poolside Live, Counterattack at Stanford University. Just talking with Kyle Utsumi, author of the brand new book, Sydney's Silver Lining. Someone who plays a prominent role joining us now, Maureen O'Toole, silver medalist from 2000. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Very cool day for you, I'm sure. Not very often you get the whole 2000 squad back together. What's it been like to just know you're coming over here and you're going to see 12 of your teammates from 2000?
Super exciting. There's a lot that I haven't seen for a really long time, but like I said, what was more amazing was walking into the Stanford Stadium and seeing all of those kids out there excited with USA shirts on, coming to watch the game.
Is that the biggest indicator? Is that the thing that makes you go wow when you see how things have grown from when you were playing even in a pre-Olympic era to now?
Absolutely unbelievable, the change. And it's neat to have been at the beginning stages of it, to see it all develop to where it is now. But at the same time, there's part of me that wishes I was a little bit younger and could be here now.
So you have a great story from 2000 in that you had retired. You know, I imagine maybe you thought that the Olympic dream was just not going to be for your time as a player, but then they do announce they're going to add it. Tell me about that decision that you decided to come out of retirement and make a go, knowing full well that even if you came out, you're not a lock to make the team. What was that process for you like?
It was amazing. I'll never forget. I was going to work at Cal, Berkeley, and I read in the newspaper a one-sentence, women's water polo added to the 2000 Olympics. And I kind of chuckled because we did a demonstration in 1984. They said they were going to add it in 88. They didn't. 92, they didn't. 96, they didn't. So I retired after 94 thinking it's never going to happen. And then it happened, and I was like, wow, but I didn't believe it. Then I got to work, and Sandy Nita, who was the national team coach, called and said, hey, do you think you want to come out of retirement and play in the World Championships, which were like in a month?
Sure.
And I thought about it, and at the time I had a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And I was like, how am I going to do this? But yes. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Doing it at training at 36, 37, 38, and 39. Physically, it was really hard. I feel lucky that I had the mental toughness to be able to hang in there and do it.
Because where were you at as far as playing? Were you doing the occasional Masters weekend, or you just kind of shut down water polo after you retired? Were you in some kind of water polo shape to then crank it up for the Olympics?
Yeah, I was coaching at Cal Berkeley, so
Okay.
I got in with the girls a lot.
Sure.
And I played with the men's Olympic club.
There you go. Okay.
So I had played in some pretty good tournaments, and for me, I was going to give the team experience.
Yeah.
So I could get back in shape, and it wasn't. Never thought, oh, I'm going to get better, but I'm going to give the team experience, which is important.
That moment when you are named to the Olympic team and you had been part of this era of women that had fought so long to get it included, what was that like when you find out you're actually going to go and be an Olympian?
Well, I actually I remember I kept telling my mom, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And she's like, oh, Maureen. And I'm like, no, I really don't.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, we were all holding hands when he made the announcement, and everybody's hands were like totally sweaty. And I was living at my mom's
Sure.
in Huntington Beach, and I went home. I'm like, Mom, I made the team. And it was thrilling, and I've never forgotten that. For me, it was all about doing it for all my friends that didn't get the opportunity to play in an Olympics.
Did you feel like a lot of people were kind of living a bit through you, the ones that wanted that opportunity and didn't get it?
Completely. I mean, one of my biggest memories was playing Holland in the semifinal game. And we always sat in the driveway for our team meetings. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, they're probably looking at this as like, oh, it's such a bummer they have to play Holland, because Holland had been in every championship of a big tournament in the history of women's water polo. And I just remember thinking, we have to do that. I have to do this for them, because how incredible would this be to beat them in the semifinals and go to the finals of the Olympics? And we did. So, it was great.
So amazing, such an amazing journey. I remember hearing you speak years ago about just the road to kind of qualify, because that's the other wrinkle to this, right? Just because the sport's being included doesn't mean they say, well, the U.S. is automatically in. You don't qualify at the Pan Ams. You have to go that second round of the qualification, and just the journey to get in must have been something special.
It was brutal. The journey to get in was brutal because we had played Canada, I'm going to guess, 10 times, beaten them 10 times. All we had to do was finish ahead of Canada, and we didn't. We lost. And so we had to go back for another year of training without knowing if we were going to go to the Olympics. And we qualified in May, and the Olympics were in September.
Wow.
So we were training for a whole nother year without knowing, and then going to that tournament in Europe. It was difficult. It was nerve-wracking, but I think we were really well prepared and made it.
As you look back on Sydney, and I'm sure the memories are just flowing all day today, but what is one of the things that just comes top of mind when you think back on your experience at the Olympic Games?
Walking through the opening ceremonies, walking through the tunnel of opening ceremonies, super, super incredible. Playing in the gold medal game of the Olympics, one of my favorite memories was when you walk out of the room, you have to walk all the way around the pool for the presentation. And I remember saying to Coralie, God, it'd be so cool to see Kelly. Kelly was 8 at the time.
Sure.
And NBC had brought my family down to the front, and Kelly was like hanging over the railing, Mom, Mom. And I was like, oh, I'm done. this is the greatest day ever. And then it was an incredible game. It was
one of the
amazing.
all-time great finishes. I know it didn't go the way the U.S. wanted. I talk a lot with athletes that maybe won a silver medal, and it takes some time to get used to the idea that you didn't lose the gold, but you won a silver medal. How did you kind of process all of that after the fact, and add into it that you're also this history-making squad in the first Olympics?
Well, it's a great question because I was the oldest player on the team and because I had a child, I was being interviewed a lot. So NBC had actually brought Kelly down onto the pool deck. And she comes running into my arms and sees that I'm really upset because we had just lost.
Sure.
And so she starts crying. But there was a lot more to it. It was like, oh my gosh, I finally have my daughter back. You know, I'm done. I'm finished. And then NBC comes with the big camera. So, Maureen, how does it feel to lose the gold medal in the last 1 second? And I'll never forget, I was standing on the corner of the pool deck just looking like, well, how do you think it feels? I mean, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah.
And in that one moment, I feel like I learned so much about life because as upsetting as it is to lose in the last 1 second of the gold medal game of the Olympics, it's really about the journey and everything that you went through in the journey. And we got to play in the Olympics, and we got to walk through the tunnel of opening ceremonies. I made the Olympic team, and we got to play in the gold medal game of the Olympics. And yeah, I got a medal.
Sure.
And we were sitting with the women's soccer team. They lost on a handball in kind of a controversial call.
Yeah.
And so we all decided that we have the platinum medal, which is actually one step above the gold.
I
so
like it.
I feel good about it.
That's a very nice tie into JOs here, the platinum division above
Yeah,
gold. Nicely
exactly.
done by
See?
you. Last thing I want to ask you here, because you talked about kind of the era before the Olympics and talking with Sandy and some other folks. I know there was a time in the 80s where you had to cobble together money to make a trip happen, or was sleeping 10 to a room, or just crazy things like that. Now you see where this women's team is at. They're an Olympic champion. They're favored to do it again. How does that group feel, the group that kind of paved the way? I don't know if you're comfortable with the whole pioneer sort of terminology, but how does that group feel that kind of set the foundation for what this group has done and that they're now contenders every time they take the pool?
Yeah, I think that Adam has done a really good job in including the veterans and the players that did get everybody here where they are today.
Sure.
In the past before that, we felt like we were really left out. I felt lucky that I got to play in the Olympics, but they didn't get that experience. So I think now, Adam is really open to having girls come in and talk about their experiences and their journeys to help everybody really appreciate what they have. Because you're right, we paid for all of our trips. We bought our suits. We bought our uniforms. We really played water polo because we loved it, because we had to pay for our own way. And so it's nice that Adam's really, I think it's one of the reasons why the girls are so good, because they're super appreciative and they really understand where it came from.
It's very, very cool stuff. Well, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Maureen O'Toole, Olympic silver medalist. I know you have a lot of friends and teammates to go hang out with. So enjoy the game tonight, and thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, we'll step aside. We'll take a quick timeout. We're back here with more live counterattack action.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org.
You've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back here poolside. We're taking you up to the top of the hour, and then at 7 p.m., USA-Russia, the finale of a 3-game series right here at Stanford University. Thanks for joining us here live on the Counterattack. Just talked with Kylo Tsumi, author of Sydney's Silver Lining, and Maureen O'Toole, one of the veterans on that 2000 Olympic team, a silver medalist. But as we're here at Stanford this Wednesday, today is the middle day of the 2016 Junior Olympics. Session 1 just wrapping up. Session 2 starting tomorrow. Championships decided yesterday in Session 1 in the Platinum Division. Let's get you highlights from right here at the Avery Stadium, and we'll start things off first in the 10U Girls Division. This was Laguna Beach taking on Santa Barbara 805, and early on, Claire Turner from Ava Nepper scoring here to make it 1-0 Laguna Beach. More Laguna Beach coming up after this. This is 10U Girls Action. A reminder, Sophia Umeda of Laguna Beach going to cruise in, and she'll put the ball away. 2-0. Laguna Beach off to a good start. Santa Barbara 805, they will turn to Laula Suzmak. She'll follow the miss here and stuff it in on the inflatable goal. Nice job there. But in this one, a little too much Santa Barbara afterwards, or rather a little too much Laguna Beach, excuse me. This is Nepper scoring 8-1, 12-1. Laguna Beach wins it. Afterwards, Coach Albert Beeler on the victory for Laguna Beach.
Well, I'm very lucky. I have a strong group of girls here. We've been working on the co-ed side for a while with 2 boys of us on our starting lineup as well. So these girls have been playing all year together, working hard together and training hard together, and I'm very lucky to be with such good girls.
Now we go 12U boys action, Vanguard versus CC United. This is the James Rosolas Hill show. He scores early here, making it 3-0, and then more Rosolas Hill stuffing it home. Inside makes it 5-0. This man is on a roll. Get it back to Rosolas Hill with 5:42 left in the second. Again, the backhand powering inside, 11-0. CC United will get one back here. They turn to Elijah Berkowitz, and this one will come later in the game, getting them on the board. They trail 11-1. Vanguard turning back to Logan McCarroll. He connects here with 4:08 left, 16-1. And Kayla Boggins scoring back-to-back goals for CC United. One final effort here as they try and get back into this match. Nicely done there by Boggin, going low on the skip shot to try and keep CC United close, but this one just a bit too much from Vanguard. Boggin will score again, but Vanguard goes on to win it 18-3. They are your 12U champs in the boys division, and after you win, you get to go to a celebration. First, coaches into the water, then some podium action as medals were dealt out, and afterwards we caught up with head coach Draganovic, and of course the MVP, James Rosolas Hill, after the huge effort.
Many hours of sweat and hard training. These boys are definitely rose to the occasion and just play the way we train. It always looks easy in the end, but we always have to show what we work for. So many hours of hard training is what brought us here to this point.
It was amazing. All my teammates are great. My coach is fantastic and just felt awesome.
14U highlights now. LA Premier, SoCal Black, Started off, Nick Tierney of LA Premier scores, making it 4-1. Dylan Pattist of SoCal will return fire with a goal. That one will count. And make it 4-2. Guilherme Andre Ocasio with a huge lob coming up here. Trying to keep his squad in the mix. Beautifully done. Little change up there. Makes it 5-3. We go back to that same man, Guillermo Andre Ocasio. Another shot. This time, a little pace on this one. He went lob now. Some heat. It's deflected. He takes it. 5-4 the score. LA Premier in front. Mott Stohart of LA Premier scoring here with 6:08 left, making it LA now 6-4 as they try and pull away this one. They turn to George Avakian with 2:33 left in the third. George going to go on the redirect here. Nicely done on the one time, making it 8-5. SoCal trying to keep pace. Christopher Kirby will score in close. As you see here, able to deliver, making it 9-6, but then Avakian, your MVP, will go back-to-back goals. The first here on the long outlet, that's the goalie, Nolan Trutnog. He's going to find Avakian on the move. Little step out and the delivery on the bounce. And then another one coming here from George Avakian as LA Premier would go up 13-8 in this one over SoCal. As George moving into position now, going to take the pass. Again, getting a defender out of the way, and almost an identical goal. One last effort here for SoCal. Riley Pittman going to score to make things 13-9. Pittman coming up here with a shot. He'll get it inside. Working, faking, and scoring. But too much from LA Premier. They win it. They are your 14U boys champions, and pick up the coach. He's going in. I don't know if coach ready for that one, but he's into the pool, and here comes the head coach. Everybody in. Got to show a little sportsmanship, though. Handshakes afterwards as they will make their way to the podium to receive their gold medal. Such an exciting moment for this 14U squad. Sometimes a little hot out there. Got to dip the medals in the water before you put them on. It's okay. LA Premier, your gold medalist in the 14U. George Avakian, your MVP. We caught up with George after the award ceremony.
It's been 7 years I've been playing water polo. Never won a single Junior Olympics. This is the best feeling I've ever experienced in my entire life, and I'm so glad to be the Junior Olympian champion.
Now we go 16U. How thrilled was George, by the way? 16U, Stanford versus Shack. This was a good one. Early on, Wyatt Hansen of Shack opens the scoring 1-0. Stanford, they're a deep team. Andrew Cherukian gets the Cardinal on the board, making it 1-1. Back and forth we go. Here's Shack. Now they turn to Spencer Hansen. This goal will come with 4:37 left in the second. Hansen, little fake, puts it away, goes cross cage. 4-3, Stanford in front. After a penalty shot from Stanford, and this will come moments later here. We're a little ahead of the action. Stanford now with a penalty shot here, and they bury it. But Shack has an answer. Shack standing for Sleepy Hollow. They go to Stefan Venny. Going to work his way along 2 meters. Drills it near side, and it's a 5-4 lead for Shack. But Cherukian comes back as Stanford will go in front 7-5 with 5:33 left in the second quarter. And now more Stanford as they start to pull away. We go to the third, Alex Sotazade. He will score with 1:18 left in the period, making 9-5 Stanford, and some relief after that goal. And then more Stanford, a little bit of a wrestling match. Gabriel Isapulo getting free, 11-5 Stanford in front. One last attempt here from Sleepy Hollow as they try to rally. Tamir Freed will get it back, and the lefty will connect for an 11-7 score, but too much Stanford. 13-7, one of the deepest teams in the 16U division. They're into the water. An exciting time. Not often you get a chance to win a JO title in your home pool. It's exactly what Stanford got here at Avery. Onto the podium,
practicing this pool,
and they get their medals and MVP afterwards.
Coming out here just feels familiar. You know, you go in, you warm up, just feels like home. I got my whole family out here, and I think everyone's just really excited to, play where they've been practicing, and it's something special.
Last but not least, 18U boys highlights Regency taking on 680 Red, perhaps our game of the day in the gold medal finishes. Lucas Wyatt opens the scoring, 1-0 Regency in front. Cooper Haddad of Regency scores later on, making it 3-0, and it seems as if Regency is rolling. Jacob Halley will come back on the cross pass, and he'll score here for 680 with 10 seconds left in the first, making it 4-1. Second quarter action now. Jake Simpson will score for 680. Looking from the outside, he connects. It's a 4-2 game. Now Tyler Abramson, this guy coming off the Ioana Junior Pan Ams. I don't know how his arm hasn't fallen off. He scored about 9,000 goals in Edmonton. Scores here for 680, tying up the score. Third quarter now, more Simpson working inside. The step out and delivery, that's on the money. 6-6 as we go to the third. More Abramson as 680 battling. He was back and forth throughout. He'll get a look, a few fakes, gets rid of the defenders and scores. And now Regency on the way back. Lucas Wyatt, we heard his name earlier, makes it 10-9. And then Wyatt is going to assist Christian Hockenberry for the final goal here. This would prove to be the game winner as Regency goes up 11-10. They win it and take the highly coveted 18U final. But afterwards, look at this, no celebration. These guys composed, some hugs, some high fives, not into the water. They just celebrate, have their team photo, and afterwards, Sean Duncan on the win.
This is a special group of kids. We won CIF together. It's just, it's really great to end out your club career and, 11 years of club water polo on a win and a JO's gold medal.
Sean Duncan, one of the JO MVPs, headed to Princeton next fall for some men's water polo. Now we're joined with John Abdu, High Performance Director. Coach, thanks for swinging by.
Yeah, no worries, Greg. Anytime.
What a cool day this has been, talking with some greats in the water polo community as we get ready for USA-Russia. We've called the first two games.
Yeah.
Your thoughts here as we look towards the finale in what is going to be a jam-packed Avery Stadium?
Yeah, this has got to be one of the best environments in the world to play a water polo game. So there are bigger venues, right? You can play a water polo game with 18,000 people in London, in the London Olympics.
Sure.
Sounds like in Rio, the swim stadium for swimming and water polo championships, quarterfinals on in Rio is going to have, I think, 15 to 18,000 people.
Sydney back in 2000, I think, had a large capacity.
Yeah, you can do that, and all that is possible. But when you look around here and you see this place on camera, the how close the fans are on top of the pool, the way the seating is done, just how everyone's going to have such an intimate view of it, and at the same time be loud and have that kind of environment. That's going to be the insane part about this.
And a very cool moment too. We talked with Maureen O'Toole, having the 2000 team get back together. They don't do it very often. You're a guy that's obviously dialed into that whole scene when it comes to developing athletes that will one day be Olympians. That group kind of coming up before the time of what we know, kind of current ODP, but now as you look towards the 2016 group, almost that entire women's team came through some form of the pipeline to arrive here today.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I went and just saw them right now before I came on and talked to some of them, and their comments back have been, this is the first time since that gold medal game that they've all been in the same place at the same time.
Wow.
And that's incredible to even think about, right? So to get all these women back in the same place, that's an awesome thing. But if you look at the 2016 roster that Coach Adam Korea named, you're right. Every single one of them either played on some sort of youth, junior, national team, ODP, zone team, somewhere along the way to get them to the Olympics. And so that's a really interesting part about this, and a lot of them have built those relationships beforehand. So a lot of them were friends before they got on the team together, and as opposed to that first team, the Olympic team kind of came from all over the place and formed it. And obviously, it's a great story to read in the new book in Sydney Silver Linings. But that is the luxury, sort of a luxury / structure that we've built now to have everybody going through a pipeline and some sort of systematic approach to high performance and Olympic development.
Yeah, and as you look towards this game tonight, we were also talking about the JO highlights featuring some athletes that are in the pipeline that were playing for different levels, cadet, youth, that have been traveling all this summer. That's a big part of the development. It doesn't just end, of course, with a senior team. You've got to have that next wave of athletes ready. Tyler Abramson was one of the guys we were just talking about. That was balling in Edmonton and now doing it again here at the Junior Olympics. Got to be exciting for you to have these teams kind of scattered about, playing in different countries, and kind of working on getting to be maybe that person that Coach Krikourian or Coach Dovich names to a team 4-8 years down the road.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part about my job, right? I mean, I think I got one of the best jobs in the world, and I'm super excited about it all the time. And I think that's one of those things, is to have organized and set up a system so that these athletes can go on these trips. Athletes, coaches, and referees all go on these trips, and these trips really make a difference. And personally as a coach, I went on some of them beforehand and before I took this job, and every one of those trips you go on, if it's a Pan Ams, a World Championships, even if it's just common training and tournaments out in Europe, you become better. You're a better player, you're a better coach after these trips, and it's an accelerated form of development. I guess they opened the gates. We're starting
Yeah,
to see some people coming in right now.
In here, yeah.
Yeah. Just so, in case you're wondering why my head's spinning. But no, these trips are amazing, and that's a real. There's so much you can get done in training and practice here domestically, but what can be done overseas and what can be done with like international training partners, it just can't be replicated, and that's what these athletes get. So it is really exciting to see them, and it's just also really exciting to see the volume of water polo that our athletes get to play. I don't think any other country can replicate that as much as maybe potentially Eastern Europe, but
sure.
Certainly in our hemisphere, in our part of the world, you're talking about these athletes that some of them are just playing in junior Pan Ams and literally the next day playing in the Junior Olympics, and then we'll start high school season in a few weeks here. So they're just constantly playing water polo. So it's all part of this, continuum of development that they have.
Well, and you talked about that a little bit, and now that the JO Session 1 has come to an end and Session 2 is only 4 days away here as we started tomorrow on the girls' side, a lot of folks will start to kind of shift their focus back towards ODP.
Right.
This has kind of been a downtime. If you didn't make a team, you're maybe gearing up for the next session. I'm sure that's something that's big on your mind and the rest of the staff there with ODP, gearing up for the next round of camps and clinics around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this September we start all of our zone camps all across the country, ODP, and that's one of the beauties of the system is, we know that based on the comment I made earlier, that the volume of water polo that's being played by athletes in America across the country, that we can't make decisions and just sit on those decisions year after year. So the process itself kind of hits the reset button come every September. So now that the summer's coming to an end, we hit the reset button, ODP restarts again, and this gives the athletes another opportunity to get themselves back in the system. Maybe they've improved, they developed, they've grown, they've matured, they give it another shot, they come back in if they're trying to make a national team, or they're just trying to raise their college profile or improve their game or get ready for their high school season. So yeah, ODP right around the corner, the 2016-17 season. Hard to believe that we're already there, but camps, registrations, everything will be open here pretty soon. And
there's certainly a level of pride. Every person that signs up or does ODP, just look at the numbers. The odds are tough to make an Olympic team, but a lot of folks get better, as you alluded to. Maybe it puts them in a good position to be the starter in varsity at their high school or to get to that college they wanted to play to. So there seems to be a lot of value in it. And I noticed, too, a lot of the folks that take part have a huge pride in it. They get the jacket or the shirt or the suit. They seem to really wear that and share it on social media. We see a lot of that week to week on the show, that people really enjoy being a part of it.
Yeah, and I think that the program has multiple goals. And I've said this publicly a number of times as a leader of the program. If we wanted to just name national teams, there are faster ways to do it. I could literally just come to JOs and me and some select coaches, we pick a few athletes and there's our national team.
Sure.
and identify them that way. But I think ODP exists to give a forum and an opportunity for everyone to develop, through a pipeline. And there's relevance to that for everybody, not just people who are trying to make an Olympics or a national team. So, we always go back to the idea, the reason that it's called the Olympic Development Program as opposed to just called Development Program or Identification Program is this word Olympism, where the Olympics is derived from, just meaning, trying to maximize your potential. So we're just trying to get everyone to maximize their potential in another process and continue to give them opportunities to be identified, to develop, and make connections, and that's what it's all about.
Good stuff. John Abdu, USA Water Polo High Performance Director. Thanks for swinging by here. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a good one. This place is going to be packed and is rocking already. So exciting stuff. Get everybody to watch.
All right. Excellent stuff. We'll take another timeout. We come back. We're going to hear from an exciting JO Session 1 team from the state of Oregon and our social media send-off. The Counterattack live here at Stanford. More on the way. You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo. And that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org.
You've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. And welcome back poolside here. We're at the Avery Stadium on the campus of Stanford University. Crowds starting to file in already here for the 7 p.m. opening sprint between USA and Russia. We'll have live coverage for you right here on Facebook.com/USAWP. Appreciate all of you checking in with the comments and writing in and following along. We've had some great guests here today on this live episode. We're in the middle of JO's Session 1 complete, Session 2 to start tomorrow. Lots of excitement at the JO Expo today down in San Jose. Earlier this week, so many stories from the JOs, and we're going to be sharing more of them on our social media channels from all the different clubs that took part. But one cool one, we caught up with the Blue Crush Club of Oregon, a team that's done well in their state but came to JOs to see just how well they could do against the country's best competition. Here's their story, courtesy of USA Water Polo TV.
Oregon and Washington has grown a lot as far as numbers in water polo. We were a little club with like 15 to 20. Now we're up to 45. It's been a long road, like Isaiah had mentioned before. Like last year, we were getting stepped on by everybody. Last couple years, this year we won a couple tournaments. Actually made it here. So Blue Crush is getting bigger and stronger, and they're having fun. It's a really young group that's really close knit.
Well, this is my first time here, and it's definitely a lot different experience from Oregon. A lot harder teams. We experienced that on the first day. Up in Oregon, we're one of the better teams, and we were winning a few tournaments here and there, and then coming down here, we're just getting our butts kicked, and it's just a whole different experience. So it's really good learning, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
You know, in Oregon, as you said, we're one of the better teams. You know, I thought we were gonna do pretty well, but as our first games win, we didn't do so well. We weren't so hot. We weren't on our A game, and it didn't go as I planned. Thought it was gonna go a little better, but it didn't.
I think we should have done better than we have been. You know, going yesterday, we let a couple games get away. We're ahead in the fourth quarter, and then, you know, that lack of experience. We're a really young team, so we let that get away. But we've been down here a couple years, and, you know, we've had to play against Shores and stuff like that. And so I knew what that next level was about. They weren't, so it's shell shock. But that's what the experience is about.
It means a lot because Oregon doesn't really get a lot of recognition for water polo, and so coming down here and getting to show them what we're about is really cool. You know, we're really growing, and you know, we're seeing how all these teams are playing, and hopefully we'll take these skills back to Oregon and use that for our high school or club teams.
I wanted to give back to that area. When I was swimming or playing water polo, there was no club. And so I wanted to start that, so we started that. A lot of hard work, heartache, and stuff like that, but now we're getting bigger and better.
Hopefully some younger athletes will come down here and be even better than we are. That's the hope. It's the goal.
And let's go testing on 3. 1, 2, 3, and testing!
Great stuff there on the Blue Crush squad, and great to catch up with those guys. We'll be featuring more clubs in Session 2 and more from all the JOs coming up in the coming weeks on all of our USA Water Polo social media channels. Speaking of which, perfect segue to our social media send-off, the way we close out every episode of The Counterattack. Lots of stuff going on around JOs. Don't forget, use the hashtag 2016JOs. You're talking about anything JOs. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is, use that hashtag. And then, of course, if you want us to see it here on The Counterattack, make sure you use the hashtag Counterattack and tag us at USAWP. We, of course, jump right in with some great aerial footage from the Junior Olympics. Check this out, a bird's eye view. The JOs stretches from Walnut Creek all the way down to Santa Cruz. Some great visual stuff here via the drone. Thanks, Joel, for sharing that stuff. A good circular look there at the action in Santa Cruz. And, of course, yes, that is the bird's eye view at the home of the Seahawks, but all about water polo this time around. And it's a different appreciation for the game when you get a chance to see it up high like that. Other athletes getting a chance to visit some of the landmarks that are here in Northern California. Bit of a foggy day. Looks a little bit chilly, too, for the OCWPC squad visiting the Golden Gate Bridge. Break out the long-sleeve shirts. Look closely. There's a person to the left there wearing a winter coat. So these guys were probably a little cold there getting up there in the morning time to get a photo in front of the iconic Golden Gate Bridge. But that's what this is all about. Things that it's all about as well, cheering on your teammates. Clubs bring different age groups, so the 14s support the 16s, as Doug shares on Twitter. Go in the body paint for a Foothill. Nice job there by the Foothill Water Polo Club. And yes, it is JOs. You have to come out and support your teams. Thunder creating a tunnel after the big 14U boys win over Stanford. The women's national team does this for birthdays. Thunder doing it for a big victory. Texas in the house, sharing some excitement via their Thunder Polo Twitter account. It's not all fun and games just for the athletes' parents having a good time, as Carmsey shares via Instagram. Excited to be a mom at JO's and cheer on her son, taking part in the 12U event. And now we go to Venice Beach. Water polo Tony, part of the official announcement with Kerry Walsh and Janet Evans and Tamika Catchings down at Venice Beach. The final stop on the road to Rio as they announce the full Olympic roster, all 555 athletes that are headed to Rio on the various different sporting teams. And then afterwards, Tony got to meet SI supermodel Genevieve Morton. Not a bad day for the captain, posting there on his Instagram. She's been in recent swimsuit issues and was there in Venice Beach to support Team USA. She was also at the event in Philadelphia this past December to hang out with Maggie Steffens and KK Clark. Tony, though, not alone, getting a chance to get a photo with a supermodel. As you can see here via Twitter on the social media send-off, an opportunity for others to meet Genevieve Morton, like myself. How about that? Hey, if a supermodel's around, might as well introduce yourself. Gentlemen, if you see a swimsuit issue supermodel, just go over and say hello. You're just being courteous. And it was a fun event overall, though, all joking aside. At the Venice Beach event, they bring trailers and an opportunity to sample different sports, try some food, interact with athletes. Courtney Mathewson planning to retire after Rio, her last game in Southern California before they head off to Stanford and then Rio. And fitting, it was at UCLA where she went to college. Lots of her friends and family coming out to cheer her on her last game, so a memorable moment there. Such a cool thing. We webcast the games, of course, in San Diego, not UCLA, and a USA Water Polo fan, Courtney Bird, watching with her students in Thailand. They had the Facebook stream going, and they were excited. Such a cool moment. Never know where these webcasts are going to go or where even this live counterattack is being watched right now, but some youngsters in Thailand enjoying USA Water Polo action. And then we keep it moving with Team USA and Kaylee Gilchrist. A couple of different athletes have had official socks with their likeness put on the socks. Hang on, we're still celebrating in Thailand here. Now we go to Kelly Gilchrist, and that's her logo on her socks. Very cool. Those are Legends socks. You can pick those up. They've also got brands featuring John Mann, Merrill Moses, and Cammie Craig. Check out Legends socks online. This dog knows what's up. This is the perfect way to end the social media send-off. It's a dog just chilling with a Mikasa ball. They know what's up when it comes to the game, the sport of water polo. Thanks, Abby, for sending that one in. And that is our social media send-off. That is our social media send-off for this week. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in to our live episode here on The Counterattack. Thanks to our guests, Kyle Utsumi. I want to remind you, his brand new book right here, Sydney's Silver Lining, on sale right now. Visit KyleUtsumi.com. Great story. As you can see right here, America's most important water polo team in their journey to the greatest game in history. Pick up that book. Maureen O'Toole, she was a member of that team, joining us here. John Abdu, high performance director. And, of course, our host here at Stanford for having us on this week's live episode. We'll see you next week. We'll be in Houston as the USA men take on Montenegro. Best of luck to all the athletes starting JO Session 2 tomorrow. And come back and join us 7 p.m. We'll start at 6:45 tonight for USA and Russia, the series finale right here at Stanford. For now, Greg Mescall signing off. Thanks for joining us on the Counterattack. And don't forget, when you're on the Counterattack, look weak side.